China, also known as the People's Republic of China, the most populated country housing an astronomical number of approximately 1.4 billion residents. Although overpopulated, China scales relatively well in size when compared to other countries. In fact, China is the fourth largest country with a size of 9,596,960 area square kilometers. China came into being within 1949 after the Chinese Communist Party took control with the nationalist Kuomintang's defeat. China to this day is still under the rule of communism. This aspect of China heavily differs in contrast from Australia, which is a country strictly ruled under the notion of a capitalist system. Australia is also different from China in the aspect of population. Australia is actually the 55th most populated country with a population of 24.6 million. Though Australia does share an aspect with China, this being its size. Similar to China, Australia is a very large country with a ranking of the sixth largest country with a size of 7,741,222 area square kilometers.
Now let's talk about both countries' economy. Both China and Australia are currently experiencing contraction within their economic cycle. This observation can be counted towards the GDP annual growth rate, which as of July 2019, both countries have seen a decline.
Yes, John, statistically speaking. As of July 2019, China's GDP annual growth rate is 6.2%. This has declined from a growth rate of 6.4% in April 2019. This decline has been occurring from 2010 onwards and has not risen above the original number at which the decline began. This can be showcased within the graph on screen. Australia is also in the same situation in the aspect of experiencing a contraction. In the first quarter of 2019, Australia had an annual GDP growth rate of 2.3%. This has since declined to 1.8% in the second quarter of 2019. As showcased within the graph on screen, a decline in Australia's annual GDP growth has occurred recently.
Now you might ask yourself why this is happening. Well, this contraction in economic cycle can be counted towards the decrease in consumer spending within both countries. Both countries are not spending enough, and because of this, less money is making its way back into through economic growth. Less people spending also results in less products being produced because there is no point in creating products which are not selling. This decreasing work productivity, and this results in a decrease in GDP annual growth rate.
Along with going through an economic contraction, both countries suffer from debt, and of the two countries, China has a larger debt. China's level of debt as of October 2018 stands at 5.2 trillion US dollars. This number massively differs from Australia's debt, which as of July 1st, 2018, was a net debt of 233.31 billion US dollars. Both countries are actually inhibiting a larger debt as the years go on. The countries' increasing debt can be linked back to the percentage of their GDP, gross domestic product, which is utilized to pay back debts. China within 2018 utilized 50.5% of their GDP to pay back debts. This is a far cry from 2010, in which only 33.7% of their GDP was used to pay back debts. This increase can be observed through the graph on screen. Australia is also in the same situation. In 2018, Australia had utilized 40.7% of their GDP to pay back debts. This is a far cry from 2010, in which 20.5% of their GDP was utilized to pay back debts. Though unlike China, from the graph on screen, we're able to see that Australia's amount of GDP used to pay back debts has stabilized in 2017 and not changed in 2018.
Inflation is the measure of increase or decrease of prices for goods and services. Australia and China are both in the same situation in regards to inflation changes, as visible within the graphs on screen. We are able to witness that as of April 2019, both countries have seen an increase in inflation rate. This increase in inflation rate can be attributed to an increase in demand for certain goods and services. When goods and services are wanted by the majority, then prices will increase in order to be able to meet the demands. As of July 2019, China has an inflation rate of 2.8%, whilst Australia has an inflation rate of 1.6%.
Exchange rates. This refers to the value of one country's currency when converted in another country's currency. An example of this would be Australia and China exchange rates with the United States. The Chinese exchange rate to the United States is 1 Chinese yuan for 0.14 United States dollar. The Australian exchange rate to the United States is 1 Australian dollar for 0.68 United States dollar.
When observing these differences in value, we are able to understand that the United States dollar is actually worth more and has a higher purchasing power than China and Australia. Through fluctuations in exchange rates between the countries, we are able to observe and identify whether a country's basic currency is increasing or decreasing in value. Through the changes in exchange rate between the yuan and United States graph shown on screen, we are able to effectively witness a decrease in China's yuan value to the US. When viewing a similar graph but in regards to Australia and the United States exchange rates, we are able to view an increase as of late in Australia's dollar's worth when compared to the US dollar. Both of these recent effects can be linked back to the China and US trade war, which is currently ongoing.
Countries, exports and imports. Both countries are inhibiting high exports, which trump their imports prices. China within 2018 has a total export number of 2,487 billion USD and a total import number of 2,135 billion USD. Compared to Australian, these numbers are exorbitant. Australian within 2018 has a total export number of 253 billion USD and a total import number of 227 billion USD. Although both countries differ in the amount of exports and imports, both countries do showcase a trade relationship by referring the top imports and exports of both countries. It is made visible that Australian exports are what China exports, whereas China exports are what Australian imports. Australia's top 3 exports consist of main fuels including oil, slag, ash, and fine gems and metals. This is similar to China's top 3 imports, which consist of integrated circuits, microassemblies, crude oil, and iron ores. China's top 3 exports consist of phone system devices including smart phones, computers, optical readers, and integrated circuits microassemblies. These exports are similar to Australia's number 1 import being machinery, including computers, which is in fact 14% of Australian total imports. Now let's take into the economic forecast.
Yes, John, it's time for the economic forecast. Hello audience, I'm an economist majoring in China's economy, and currently China is experiencing a contraction. As an economist, I forecast that in the near future, China will continue to go through a contraction but not hit a recession. This prediction has been made by compiling a variety of points and understanding the reasoning behind these effects. These points have been expressed throughout this video. As we have seen throughout this video, China's purchasing power parity is declining as the days pass. On the 17th of April 2019, China had an exchange rate with the US equivalent to 1 yuan for 0.15 USD. On the 3rd of September 2019, this exchange rate hit 1 yen for 0.14 USD. This decline can be witnessed on screen within the graph. Along with this decrease in purchasing power parity, China is experiencing a decrease in GDP annual growth rate. As of July 2019, China's annual growth rate was 6.2%. This has declined from a growth rate of 6.4% in April 2019. This growth rate decline has been occurring since 2010, and this decline can be seen to occur every couple of months. The trade war between the United States and China has led to increasing tariffs by the US on imports from China. In retaliation, the China's yuan was artificially lowered. This war is still ongoing and its effects may harm the Chinese economy. The longer this trade war continues, the further China's economy may be put at risk. These points help to showcase China's economy cycle and the direction in which it is headed. Along with these points, China's rising debt can also be utilized to help further reiterate China's continuous contraction.
Now it's time for the Australian economic forecast, and as an economist majoring in Australia's economy, I've concluded that Australia is currently experiencing contraction, begins stabilising in the near future, will experience an expansion economically. This observation has been made by following a series of trends which recently have begun to occur. This would include an increase in inflation and purchasing power parity, which can all be linked back to the China-US trade war, which has resulted in more demand for Australian goods and services. Inflation has went up from 1.3% in April 2019 to 1.6% in July 2019. This can be attributed to an increase in consumer spending, which is the goal of the Reserve Bank, following a series of interest cuts. Purchasing power parity has also increased as a result of the US and China trade war. Through this trade war, an increase in demands for Australia's goods and services have occurred. This is beneficial for the economy because it will increase the purchasing power and productivity of Australia. These facts combined together have helped me come to the conclusion of Australia experiencing an expansion in the economic cycle within the near future.